We're living in a world right now where armed groups like ISIS, Al-Shabaab, Boko Haram are not coming to the negotiating tables. However, all of the international instruments that exist are still believing that the only way to facilitate disarmament is through a peace agreement. Albert Einstein once said that the ultimate form of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and hoping for a different result.
I think for now, people have accepted the fact that DDR belongs to all of us.
So we have a tremendous opportunity to make the most and make reintegration and economic reintegration work. But I think we need to work together for that.
One key challenge is the fact that we don't have a coherent plan that has been developed on de-radicalization.
A lot of the functions that we're doing in this room are government responsibility. And us as Elman, we are cognizant of the responsibility we hold in Somalia, but it is transitional as well too.
Now, if a violent extremist group is intentionally abducting girls, you can imagine what they are trying to do. They are trying to play into a certain part of the human mind. But there is also, from the skewed ideological perspective, where these violent extremist groups believe that girls should not go to school.
They will rehabilitate them for a period of 16 weeks. They will call for a big celebration that they have rehabilitated and de-radicalized 100 plus detainees. But at the end, these people cannot return to their communities. They can't.
If you don't know who your client is, you can't develop a program. If you don't know what is available, you can't help the client. If you don't know what the government will allow you to do, you won't move one step forward.
The way that we receive individuals to go through our program is primarily twofold. One is through handovers that we receive from the government. And these are both people that have voluntarily left on their own and are now going through the process to reintegrate back into the community. And then we also have a demographic of those that were captured at the front lines and are not necessarily voluntarily disengaged from the armed group.
One of the best ways to make communities understand their role in this conflict is simply to sit down, sensitize, explain to them that as a nation, we are in a very difficult situation and we need to accept our own responsibility towards this conflict. And how can we therefore overcome?
How do you ensure that those activities are actually addressing the structural root causes?
You need to bring together two parties, the offenders and the victims.
Who is really a perpetrator and a victim? Assuming a kid who has been kidnapped at the age of 18, he has been indoctrinated, he has been abused, then eventually he becomes an abuser also. So where do you draw the line?
And we're sending people out to an environment that's not anymore enabling, progressive, or safe for them. It's still a conflict zone, and they have different types of targets on their back now, even if they have left the armed group and the ideology that they once ascribed to.
The opportunities have not been given to local communities to understand the conflict, to come up with their own initiatives, to share their own sense of guilt and their own aspects, their own contributions in a way to the way this conflict has become what it has become. And I think if you create that, people are likely be willing to accept that in order to move forward, we have a situation here. We need to forgive and forget.
We hope very much that this meeting will be the beginning of this organized civil society that will be able to speak also with one voice, but at the same time bringing this diversity. And we cannot do this without you as civil society, because you are at the forefront. You are the ones at the local level, in the villages, in the communities. We're living through a very particular moment, and it's this context of violent extremism, of sometimes repression, and this very restrictive space for civil society that actually enables us to come together. Because it's now in these difficult times where human rights are being baffled. In any other times, this maybe would not have been necessary, but it's together that we will be stronger. and we'll be able to go farther.